Today we are going to talk about one-step equations of all operations. I am starting my notes on page 46. I want you to start your notes on whatever the next two pages are. We will be using both sides for our notes. Now, to solve, we need to isolate the variable by using the inverse operation on both sides of the equation. Okay? Don't forget, you're allowed to pause and write down the notes if you need to. I'm sure you're asking yourself, well, what is the inverse operation? It just means the opposite operation. The opposite for multiplication is division. The opposite of division is multiplication. Same for adding and subtracting. The opposite for addition is subtraction. The opposite for subtraction is addition. Now this next part is important. What you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side. I'll say it again. What you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side. Pause, take a minute, write everything down if you need to. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to fold my paper in half. Draw a line down the middle. And I'm going to make this into thirds. But then I'm going to cut each half. So I'm going to make this into two columns. And I'm going to make this into two columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our first part, we are going to start with adding and subtracting. So we're going to start with adding and subtracting. So if you want to write that down, adding and subtracting. I'm going to circle it so we can find it. Adding and subtracting. Alright, number one. I have x plus 7 equals 5. Well, the first step we do is we isolate the variable by using the inverse operation. Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing my line down my equation sign so I can have a balance. Remember, the equation is our balance. The left side is x plus 7, the right side is 5. So I need to use the inverse operation. Plus 7 is my operation. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So I need to subtract 7 from my left side. What I do to my left side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm also going to subtract 7 from my right side. Well, 7 minus 7 is 0, so they cancel each other out. All I have left is my x. 5 minus 7. Now these are our integer rules. Positive 5 plus a negative 7 gets me negative 2. So x equals negative 2. But on this other side, we are going to check by substitution. Okay? So let me write that down. Check by substitution. Okay, when I check by substitution, remember how to substitute. We take our original equation, and I'm going to substitute x for negative 2. So instead of it being x plus 7 equals 5, this is going to be negative 2 plus 7 equals 5. Okay? Negative 2 plus 7 equals 5. Well, what is negative 2 plus 7? Two different signs. I subtract. 7 minus 2 is 5. I take the sign of my bigger number, which is 7, so 5 is a positive, and that does indeed equal my positive 5. Checking for substitution is a 2-second addition to your work that guarantees that you get it correct. Number 2. I have x plus negative 5 equals 6. X plus negative 5 equals 6. Wonderful. I have addition, so I need to subtract. I'm going to subtract my negative 5 from both sides. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Well, I don't do minus a negative. Remember my integer rules. I don't do minus a negative. Okay? That's actually plus a positive. Plus a positive. Now I have negative 5 plus 5. That cancels out. X equals 6 plus 5, 11. So x equals 11. But I'm not done. I need to check by substitution. Instead of x plus negative 5 equals 6, I'm going to put 11 plus negative 5 equals 6. If I have 11 and I'm adding negative 5, the signs are different, so I subtract. 11 minus 5 is a positive 6. 11 is bigger. Positive number, keep my positive answer. 6 does equal 6. Let's do one more together. Number 3. X minus 7 equals negative 4. X minus 7 equals negative 4. I have a subtraction, so my inverse operation is to add 7, and I have to add 7 to both sides. Negative 7 plus 7 cancels out. All I have left is x. Negative 4 plus 7, well, they're different signs, and I'm adding, so I'm actually going to subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 is my bigger number, and it's positive, so my answer is positive. Now I need to check. 3 minus 7 equals negative 4. 3 minus 7 equals negative 4. Well, 3 minus 7. Keep change opposite. 3 plus negative 7 equals negative 4. I'm adding, but the signs are different, so I actually subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. 7 is my bigger number, and it's a negative, so I have a negative 4, and that does, in fact, equal a negative 4. You are going to enter in negative 2 for number 1, 11 for number 2, and 3 for number 3, and then go on and do the next 3 examples.